What's up, weebs? Today I want to talk about something that I noticed a little while ago, but I didn't really make YouTube videos at the time that I noticed this, and now the time's kind of passed. I don't care. I want to talk about it. I find it fascinating. I'm a little bit infatuated with it because I am trying so hard to understand it, and it's something I like to call the kicked from the hero's party epidemic. It's not an epidemic anymore. If I made this video back in like 2022, that would have been apt. But now it doesn't really come out as much. I think like last season we had 2 of them come out. One of them was the Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows and the Unaware Atelier. And next season we have Scooped Up by an S-Rank Adventurer, which... sure, I guess. And I think it would be a good idea to probably at least clarify what I mean by kicked from the hero's party, because I'm talking about a really specific genre that can be an isekai. It doesn't always have to be, but it is typically fantasy related. And it involves the main character being part of a group of people, a party, but they're not necessarily like the main person in the group. And then the group gets rid of them in one way or another. Either they just kick them from the party, they abandon them, they betray them, or the main character just leaves. But typically, it's some form of everyone else collectively saying, fuck you, to the main character that we follow. And then that character goes off and does their own thing. Typically either trying to get revenge on the hero that betrayed them, or trying to make an even stronger party out of spite, or... they go off and do their own thing entirely, which at that point, I don't even consider it like part of the kicked from the hero party genre, because that's just a fantasy at that point. Like you could remove the entire part where you get kicked and it's just a fantasy story. I'm rambling. Point being, that's roughly what the genre boils down to, is like the convention of they're part of a party, something happens in the party that wrongs them, they get removed from the party, and then they spend the rest of the story either going after the people that wronged them, or they make an even better party out of spite. And I've seen people have different interpretations for why this type of genre even exists. Some people say it's a power fantasy, but like a revenge story. Like it's supposed to be a revenge story, which I get that. I'm actually kind of cool with that. One of my favorite movies is Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. That's just a revenge movie. The rest of the series is a heist series. Tokyo Drift's a revenge movie. And it's the best one in the series. But I've seen some other people talk about how it's supposed to highlight that every part of a party, every member in a party is just as equally important as the rest. And that's just not true. Say what you will about any member of the party, but if we're being honest, I think the most important member of the party, it's probably the healer. Moving on. From what I've seen, the earliest incarnation of this, at least within popular media of like anime and light novels, was Arifureta, or From Commonplace to World's Strongest. I probably butchered the first part of that name. I still cannot say that right for some reason. That came out in 2015, and it was... the main hero got abandoned. It was pretty bad. I did not care for it at all. At least not the first like 3 or 4 episodes. After that, yeah, it got way better. Dude, the first 3 episodes of From Commonplace was... they were awful. But after that, we had a little cult classic gem come out in 2017 that I believe is the reason that this entire genre started to blow up and got popular, which was Redo of Healer. Redo of Healer came out in 2017 as a light novel, and from there, you just notice like a drastic increase in this genre's production, at least up until like 2022. So I'm blaming Redo of Healer. That may not be fair to it. I don't care. I'm blaming that one. And I understand that you're thinking, Brent, that's like not even like, this isn't like a real problem. This wasn't a real genre that existed besides maybe like a handful of manga or anime. I'm telling you, this is a real fucking thing. Here's just a list of some of the ones I found. Banished from the Hero's Party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, which is a 2018 light novel. The White Mage who was banished from the Hero's Party is picked up by an S-Rank Adventurer, 2021. The Impregnable Demon King's Castle and the Expelled Black Mage of the Hero's Party, 2020. From leveling up the hero to leveling up the nation, 2020. The Banished Court Magician aims to become the strongest, 2021. I'm glad they kicked me from the Hero's Party, but why are you following me, Great Saintess, 2021? I, who was banished, am the strongest adventurer with the off-the-beaten-path gift of Translator. 2022. The healer who was banished from the party is, in fact, the strongest. 2019. The strongest tank's Labyrinth raids. A tank with a rare 99/99 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party. 2019. That one just finished airing. Ninging Fushin. Adventurers who don't believe in humanity will save the world. 2019. Even given the worthless appraiser class, I'm actually the strongest. 2020. Chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. 2019. That one does something a little bit different. I'm still gonna count it. The hero took everything from me, so I partied with the hero's mother. That one's kind of fucking wild, because the marketing for that one was just, the guy got kicked from the hero's party, so he bought every other party member's moms as slaves. There's also just kind of a lot of slavery in these. It's just a thing with like the isekai and fantasy genre. It's like a weird fascination with slavery. I am probably too stupid to make any type of meta commentary on that. And then like the last two I found that were still in that time frame but did stuff a little bit differently was Unmatched in 100 Different Worlds. I gain a new skill every time I get banished. And let this grieving soul retire. Woe is the weakling who leads the strongest party, which is basically the main character wants to leave the party and everyone in the party refuses to let him. Those two are at least doing something pretty unique with the genre. So we got a really fast turnaround in terms of like playing with what the genre entails and then like flipping the convention on its head. That was a faster turnaround than isekai got, so I'm good with that. I do want to note that these are a little bit different from what you may have seen as like the being reincarnated as a demon lord or a villainess. Those have similar notes where they were wronged potentially in their past lives, and so they're gonna make them pay. But they don't usually follow most of the other same story beats besides, oh look, they're actually really powerful and they befriend a lot of people that may have seen a little less than when it comes to moral standings. Yeah, those are just different genres, and chances are there were also some stories that came out before From Commonplace to World's Strongest and before Redo of Healer. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I did find multiple lists, which I'm going to leave in the description below. I'm going to leave links to the lists that I pulled these from because, oh my god, there is so much. There's at least like 4 or 5 times more than I've even talked about. And these all came out around the same time. I'm not joking. If you go look up any of these, they all came out within like that 5-year period. There was so fucking much. And since I'm talking about this, I may as well go ahead and recommend my picks for which ones I would recommend reading or watching. From Commonplace to World's Strongest, if you can manage to get through the first couple of episodes, it picks up so much. It's pretty good, especially if you want to see him just ram a rod straight up a dragon's ass and then the dragon comes. Second, the hero took everything from me, so I partied with the hero's mother. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly say, this one's shockingly not bad. I expected it to be hot garbage whenever I was reading it, and after reading it for a little bit, I realized, wow, this is just funny. It's just a lot of smut. However, it is very funny because the main character was a 40-year-old office worker who died, so he got isekai'd, gets kicked from the party, and he just doesn't even care because the party was full of a bunch of 20-year-old women, and he's like, yeah, no, they're just not my type. In my opinion, everyone who likes women below the age of 30 is a pedophile. I only like MILFs. I wish I had more to say about it besides, like, it is just so absurd in one note in what it wants to do, but it really drives that one note home that it's kind of enjoyable. It's fun to watch this one guy just look at a 20-year-old woman and be like, God, you're disgusting. I only like MILFs and GILFs. And lastly, I'm gonna say Redo of Healer. I feel like trying to recommend anyone Redo of Healer is just not a great idea most times unless you know them, and I mean like you know them, because anyone who reads Redo of Healer, I don't know, I want to say they're gonna have a bad time. If you have a good time watching Redo of Healer, you might need some therapy, but you know, we don't judge here. We don't judge. We don't kink shame here, alright? You liked Redo of Healer? I'm happy for you, but talk to someone, man. Also, the fact that the author of Redo of Healer was looking at everyone like, oh, you thought that was bad? You have no idea. I can do so much worse. Like, he should just do it. Just do it. It would be the funniest thing. I remember hearing that somewhere. I don't know where it is. I went looking. I couldn't find it in any of the interviews I saw him in. If anyone knows where like the source for that quote apparently is, let me know, because I feel like I'm just lying and making shit up now, but I swear I've heard someone mention he said this. If anyone finds it, just link it in the comments. I'm gonna go read it. I just want to read it. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna talk about for this, because like I want to say more, but all I would end up doing is be talking about all of the different individual manga. And as much as I'd love to give you a bunch more manga recommendations, it doesn't feel like it'd be a good idea to sit here and try to give a detailed review on every single manga. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But what do you think? Let me know. If you have any that you recommend, some that you like, leave in the description. Leave in the comments. I enjoy reading these, even if they are hot garbage. I am a sucker for a good revenge story just in general. You can leave your recommendations in the comment, or you can join the Discord, link below. I'm in there all the time, and we can talk about a bunch of other stuff that YouTube won't get mad at me for. I found out YouTube will just delete comments if you post them and they say bad enough words. I found that out the hard way. And follow me over on Twitch. I stream pretty often over there. I made my own shitty fucking jank VTuber. Probably gonna be doing some streams here in a little bit where we watch a bunch of the trailers for upcoming anime next season to find out what I'm going to be taking my time to watch. I already know for now one of them that I plan on watching is Gachi Akuta, which sounds fucking awesome. Not the name, but like the actual premise. Anyways, come say hi. It'll be a fun time. I only crash out a lot, and that's about it. I suck at ending videos.